You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and, of course, the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure to check out the GCP, where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you, and you'll get 10% off your order on Senators game days. You can also check out the Send Shuttle. All April regular season dates are up, just $17 to and from the CTC. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Pillar and Lalime's Martian, breaking down a 3-2 road win for the Ottawa Senators against the New Jersey Devils. It was a game that felt like it was in the bag until the third period, where the Sens were on their heels. The Devils make it a one-goal game with 22 seconds left, and Pilsy, take it from there, because those 22 seconds felt like an hour and a half.
Whew, and there was chaos in front of the net. Devils players falling all over. The puck was bouncing around the crease. That was one where you're glad you got out of that one, and maybe a little too close for comfort, Ross, but it's 2 points. It's a regulation win, and it snaps the losing skid. A much-needed win for the Ottawa Senators. Oh, my.
Martian, take me through your emotions there as the clock ticked down.
They bent, but they didn't break, Ross, and my emotions were pretty up and down. I was pretty close to having a heart attack, I think, at that last moment there when that puck was behind Linus Ullmark. But the boys were able to get the job done. So you got to like the result in that one.
Got to. And you got to like the second period in particular. We'll get into all of it, but can we just get in the chat Zub? Because Zub saved this game. The puck was laying there in the crease with 3 seconds left. Chaos. Ullmark sprawled out. I would love a photo of the overhead camera as the puck was there, because there were bodies splattered all over the place, and Zub just goes backhand tap, and away she goes. Now that saves the game for the Ottawa Senators. A regulation win was so big for this team, where they are in the standings and where the last two games went complete opposite directions. And in the third period against Montreal, they let a lead slip away. So Ottawa's able to keep the victory in their hands. And where else do you want to start with this, boys? You want to keep going on the third period, get the negativity out of the way? I'll kind of spin it into a positive. Linus Ullmark was unbelievable that third period. Pilsy, what'd you see from number 35?
Just confidence, Ross. I thought he was tracking the puck really well. I thought any play that was happening down low, he was very sharp. There was lots of times where there was scrambling in the crease, but he was nice and low. He was finding it. He was getting himself in a good position. And I thought he wasn't letting screens get in the way. He wasn't letting big rebounds out. Like, he was just really solid and just composed the way you need him to be, especially when the Ottawa Senators are trying to hold on to a lead and it gets close there, because the Devils were pushing. Credit to them. They are not in an ideal spot with two of their top players out, and then it looked like two of their defensemen were going to be out of the game on the same play, but they found a way to push back, and without Ullmark, they might have been able to tie this one up.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just the third period, I think, for me with Ullmark. He was making saves all game long. It was just save after save after save. He comes away from this game with 25 total saves, but a lot of those were high-quality chances. So great game from Ullmark. I'll agree with you there, Pills.
Of course, our guy sends Chirp with the photo, the overhead camera with 4 seconds left. The puck is about 1.5 feet off the goal line. Sends legendary draft pick, obviously in the Bobby Ryan trade in 2014. Stefan Nason, who was a bull all night. He had a couple of huge hits in the game. He cannot get it in, and he doesn't even have a stick at this point. Like, it was just mayhem in front of the net. But yeah, Ullmark was great in the third period. Couple of calming saves too, where the team needed it. But the real issue with that last push started before the second goal for New Jersey when it was 3-1. How many failed clears did the Ottawa Senators have there? That's something that the team's going to have to work on here going forward. When you're protecting a lead, be safe, get the puck out. Dylan Cousins missed an easy clear where he kind of wanted to skate it through and missed the puck. We had another one with Jake Sanderson, couldn't get it out. Artem Zub couldn't get it out. And ultimately it ends up in the back of the net, shooters shoot. And in that case, it was Eric Howla that got the 8th goal of the season for him and made it a 1-goal game. But I think that's enough negativity, or at least breaking down the end of the game, because I thought for the first 40 minutes, the Ottawa Senators played a pretty good hockey game. Pilsy, what was your take on how this one developed? Usually we start there, but with such a big story, we had to get that out right away.
Yeah, I mean, the Sens just played like they weren't going to let this one get away from them no matter what. They started the game off really hot. I thought a couple great shots on the first shift. And then they're able to find success with that top line. Timmy wheeling it around in the O-zone, goes wide, holds onto it, sees Sanderson moved in a little bit. And then Sandy, they did a good job on the broadcast pointing out that Brady is in front of the net and then waits. And then when he sees Sanderson has that lane, that's when he puts his stick down to present that he's got an opportunity to tip it. And then he tips it in there. So I thought that was a great play by the Sens. All three of those guys doing what they need to do. Timmy holding the puck, playing a possession game. Sanderson, he's been a much more offensive defenseman lately, getting the puck towards the net, but not just towards the net, on the tape of Brady Tkachuk. And then Brady Tkachuk, that's his office. He's going to make that happen more often than not.
Yeah, and it wasn't the easiest night ever for Brady Tkachuk either, right?
No.
Like, obviously, he's playing through something. Obviously, I think it seems like it's going to be that left hip that is the thing that's bothering him. And he kind of tweaks it there at one point earlier, right before that goal ended up happening for him. And that's going to give Sens fans a big scare, right? Like, he's such an important part of this team. And when he's in the lineup, it makes a huge difference, no matter if he's a little hurt or not. And they had to kind of start managing his minutes towards the end of the game there in that third period. He wasn't playing as often as he had been earlier in the game. And I'm hoping that injury is not something that's going to continue to bother him long term, like down this stretch all the way into the playoffs. I mean, we were talking about it in the group chat, boys. Like, maybe like we were thinking about, like, do we rest this guy for a game? Is that even something that's going to make a difference with an injury like this? It's a little bit of a shaky situation there, but it's nice to see that he's able to still contribute with where he's at right now, health wise.
Yeah, and he grinded out that third period. They were mentioning on the broadcast, and I had it up as well. I think I still do. Yeah, in the third period, Brady Tkachuk's longest shift. I don't have it updated with the last. Yeah, so his last shift was the longest, 49 seconds. Before that, 37, 36, 30, 12, and 27. So he only played 3 minutes and 11 seconds in the third period, only played 2 minutes and 56 seconds in the first period, where he sat on the bench, tested it out at the end of the period. So for him to come back in the second and get the first goal 4 minutes into this game, Like, that just shows you the leadership. And the thumbnail photo on YouTube is from Brady celebrating that goal with the bench, doing the drive-by. Like, that's leadership personified. Are you hurt or are you injured? Brady Tkachuk's playing hurt right now. There's no doubt about it. But what a play, too. It was highlighted second intermission. Kevin Bieksa said, look, it's one thing to get to the net. It's another thing to make yourself available to receive a pass. And Brady got his stick in a perfect spot, and Jake Sanderson found it for that goal. The lottery boys coming through. Tim Stützle with the secondary assist on that one. Boys, Stützle's 50th assist of the season. His career high is 52. And he was a dog all night. I don't know if we want to jump ahead to a standout, but he was a dog defensively. And Martian, I know you loved his little interaction with Luke Hughes in the third period.
Yeah, that's my favorite, almost my favorite version of Timmy, is when he gets a little bit spicy down low and guys start taking liberties with him because they don't think he's going to bite back. And we know, we've watched Timmy long enough here now. He's developed that little bit of an edge that, he's prickly. So Luke Hughes, he takes a little bit of a liberty after a whistle, rubs him out behind the net. And then Timmy kind of gives him a little shove, says, hey, what are you doing there? And then Luke Hughes looks at him and says, what are you going to do? And before he got the word "do" out of his mouth, he was eating a Tim Stützle right hook with the glove on. And the look on Luke Hughes' face as well when that happened was hilarious, dude. Like, he just kind of had that, like, oh, like, what was that? Like, what are you doing here, buddy? Like, yeah, he didn't see it coming. Obviously, he thought Timmy was maybe a little softer than he actually is. So don't mess with the German.
Yeah, no, Timmy got away with one there, though. Like, that
come on.
That's a punch right to the face. I mean,
Pilsy, from a ref's perspective, that's a younger guy who's kind of got to learn a little bit of a lesson there. I like that game management there, if that's what we want to call it. Luke Hughes, like, he's just, taking one, and Timmy's got seniority in that situation, in my opinion. So I think I like the non-call on both sides there.
No, yeah, don't get it twisted. I love the play, boys, but I mean, if you're Luke Hughes, you're like, so we can just punch in the face after the whistle here? Like, why didn't I get my shot there?
Well, what? You can rub a guy out in the boards after a whistle too? Timmy had so much speed off that rush too, where it's like, that could have been a big hit. Like, he was trying to knock him off balance with that thing. And
I don't know if I'm a ref, I'm looking at the punch to the face more than just rubbing a guy out a little.
I don't know. All in all, Timmy had a hell of a night. Send Central standouts are coming up. We got a boots on the ground report from Newark with my best buddy Wes and Brody, a pod of two guys. Their third postcast. They're now 2-1. They saw that Rangers game where Ottawa got Shesterkin, kind of like Vancouver did today. And then they saw the win on Long Island. They'll join us after the break. Ottawa wins 3-2 in this game. And I have to make a correction. In the intro, I had 84% as the expected goals percentage for New Jersey. That's what they had in the third period. So it wasn't completely wrong, but in the game, it was 58% for New Jersey, 41.8 for Ottawa. Shots on goal favor the Devils 27-19. Both teams go 1 for 3 on the power play. Senators only winning 43% of the faceoffs in this game. They do have 17 blocks to 13 for New Jersey, and the Devils with 29 hits to Ottawa's 18. We'll break this game down a lot further after the break. You're listening to Locked On Senators. It's the Postcast on a Saturday night.
This Postcast is brought to you by, as always, the Glebe Central Pub. We love the Glebe Central Pub. It's our pub whenever we go to the nation's capital, and it should be your pub too. In the heart of the Glebe at 779 Bank Street. The Glebe Pub loves Sens fans. Anytime they can help Sens fans get to the game, they're doing it. They got the Sens shuttle. Go check out the Glebe Central Pub website. Check out the schedule for the Sens shuttle. The bus takes you from the pub to the rink, from the rink back to the pub, and $17 round trip. You can't beat that, and Sue, the bus driver, will get you to the game and back to the pub faster than an Uber or your buddy driving could ever do. So forget the keys, have a couple drinks at the game, and don't worry about it with the Glebe Central Pub shuttle. And it's a great place to celebrate Sens wins. If you guys are at the Glebe Central Pub right now in the chat, let us know. And even if it's not Sens games day, they got good food, good drinks, and the service. That's the key. All the servers, the bartenders there, the kitchen staff, and the owner, Blair, all absolute beauties. So go check out our pub in the heart of the Glebe at 779 Bank Street, the Glebe Central Pub. And just let me have a refresher, guys. How much are the vibes at the GCP? They're free. The vibes are free at the GCP.
Did you know getting a good night's sleep is the #1 recipe for long-term success in life? I didn't. It took me way longer to realize than I'd like to admit. It was years of tossing and turning. I was always tired. I never felt like I could live up to my potential, but not anymore. Thanks to Bear Mattress. I used their sleep quiz and I matched with the Elite Hybrid. It's perfect for side sleepers like me. Now I wake up energized. I'm getting deeper sleeps and I'm ready to attack the day. No matter how you sleep, Bear Mattress has a match for you with a focus on recovery, cooling, and pressure relief to upgrade your sleep and improve your overall quality of life. Go to bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout for 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Pillar and Lalime's Martian, and we are heading to a taxi somewhere between New Jersey and New York, bringing on Wes Nixon, Brody Wes. Fellas, the username says a lot. How's the game?
That's the crew I love to see. What's going on, boys?
Oh, feeling good, man. Where were you sitting? Did you have a good view of that last second opportunity?
We were lower bowl. I felt like we had a good view for almost all of the goals. The last one was at the other end. But man, it was electric. And there wasn't a ton of Sens fans in the building, but just enough. And I'd say the fans overall were pretty docile, but minus during the anthem.
My head was in my lap. I could not watch the last 20 seconds of that game. The game ended. I literally said, I feel sick. That was crazy. It's like, thank God we won. Zub saves the day. And that's a huge win. Big win.
Now, how frustrating was it in the rink? Because on TV, all Sens fans were losing their minds. The Sens had, 5, 6 different opportunities to clear that puck when the Devils had their goalie pulled, and it just seemed like soft plays, trying to wait for the outlet pass. Like, were you guys just sitting there like, just get rid of it?
Yeah, we were super nervous. As you said, like the Sens hate empty nets. It seems like I feel like we never score ever on an empty net. And we were just waiting and waiting. The clock was winding down. They scored with 20 seconds left and then made it, way, way too close at the end. But thank God we pulled it off.
Brody, you think you would have had a better idea of how this game would have gone if Wes let you get there for warm-up?
I know. I didn't have my early boots on the ground report. Last game we were in Jersey, I told you Forsberg, looked good in warm-up, and he was outstanding. But credit to Ullmark. He really played amazing himself. I even texted you, Ross, before the game. I thought Forsberg, maybe should have started this one, but Ullmark, he really stepped up, played well, and now hopefully, maybe we give Forsberg the Buffalo game.
Rolls right into the Sens Central standouts here, boys. Who stood out for you?
Okay, I'll go first. I gotta give it to Giroux. Like, I saw him midway through the first period. He'd already logged 6 minutes with 2 power plays and a penalty kill. He's so dynamic, the way that he controls the puck. And he also is such a catalyst on the power play. There's a reason why we're 12th in the league in power play percentage. And he's just his
research.
His composure and his hockey IQ is just so nice to watch.
Well, Wes, you're right on track.
Led all forwards in ice time.
Yeah, the LSB stats department can confirm Giroux had the most time on ice in this game for the Ottawa Senators among forwards, 21 minutes and 32 seconds. Had an assist that may as well have been a goal. I mean, David Perron gets a little tap on it in front, but that was awesome to see.
Power play.
Yeah, hell yeah. That power play that at home is so much better than on the road. So when you see it produce on the road, and especially having that answer after the Devils scored on the power play, you're just like, okay, you got to get one back on the power play right away. And it was 2-3 minutes after, and right away, Marshy, what'd you see on that power play? Because I said Dylan Cousins, but the second unit started it. The guys on the first unit drew the penalty, and they never even saw the ice on that man advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in the last couple of games here, it's been that second unit who has been creating the most chances between the two units. So I'm not surprised they got the start in that power play. So, I'm loving the way that second unit's looking. There's the boys.
Oh, we can't hear you guys.
We're going to change the link.
We were hammering away. It would have sounded so professional on audio platforms. We had them gone, and it was all good. But hey, that's the beauty of the Boots on the Ground report. Guys are vibing after the game. We're trying to catch people, whether it's on the transit system. I think they're in a cab right now. So that's what the Boots on the Ground reports is all about. But I can't wait for Brody's standout. But Pillsy, you got some thoughts on Claude Giroux? Because I think that's actually a nice kind of, not an obvious call, but a really good choice for a standout in tonight's game.
Yeah, no, Wes knows his stuff. Claude Giroux gets the assist, like they mentioned, leads forwards in ice time, 50% in the dot. And I thought he adjusted to his new role pretty well. That was a guy I was interested to see how he's going to play away from Brady and Timmy. I mean, he's a vet, so I wasn't worried about how things were going to go. But anytime you move away from top line minutes and playing with literally the top two offensive players on the team, it might affect how your game goes. But I thought he played really great with Ridley Greig and Shane Pinto. I mean, we've seen the chemistry Pinto and Giroux have had on the power play. I really feel like Ridley Greig and Giroux can also have some chemistry if they get a little bit more time together. So I'm starting to like that third line. Like, you got a guy like Claude Giroux on your third line. That's the kind of depth I want to see on this team.
First line in terms of time on ice tonight, though, boys. Ridley Greig played 20 minutes and 45 seconds. His ascension in terms of being a guy that Travis Green trusts is continuing to rise. And don't worry, we'll get into the new look top line, Zetterlund and Timmy and Brady Tkachuk. Got a great text from Brody saying Wes's phone died. What a rookie move, him going there. But we got Zoob ×2 out with a way better angle.
We're back.
Hey, what's up, Brody?
Technical difficulties. Wes was doing too much research in the third period that his phone died. But we're back.
Who stood out for you in this one, Brody?
I was also gonna say the Grizzly vet, David Perron. Slow start to the season, but that guy coming on real hot in the month of March. I think he wins every single board battle he's part of. Great defensively, big tip in goal, and he's just the type of player that, I don't know, if and when we make the playoffs, he's the guy that you win with. Like, he's going to be great in the playoffs. And he really stood out to me tonight. So he's my Sens Central standout.
Love that. So you guys said there weren't a whole lot of Sens fans in there, but did you find a few?
Yeah, we made a couple friends. But I would say it was not the most Sens fan heavy turnout that we've been to.
Interesting. Any final thoughts on the game tonight, boys? Wes, you look like you just had the best day of your life.
We rolled with a good crew here, five of us, including Brody's wife, who's a beauty.
Important question. Were they significant? Yes, rocking the Sens.
And we got
jersey.
Sean and Mikey.
Hey, what's up?
Let's
go.
It's a good
All
crew.
rocking the Sens gear. That's key. That was my final
Rolling
question
deep
there.
in Newark.
So what's your record this year? You boys have been to a few of these games in the tri-state area.
I think we're over 500. Definitely over 500.
I think we're 3-2. But with the Toronto game that Mikey and I were at last Saturday in Toronto, I think we're 4 and that was electric. But
that was sick.
Need you guys to go to Buffalo then.
Yeah, you guys busy? You guys busy on Tuesday?
We can swing it. We can swing it.
Love it. Well, appreciate you guys for jumping on, giving us a little insight in that. Wes, you got some final thoughts? You look like you have something to say.
I just loved, this is my first time at Prudential Center, and it was kind of like taking a trip down memory lane, just thinking back to that old Devils team with those big names that you grew up hearing about, especially against, heated rivalries against the Ottawa Senators in the playoffs. Brodeur, Stevens, Elias. We went through a little competition to see who could rhyme off the most old school Devils players. It was a lot of fun just being there in the atmosphere.
Okay, snap it around real quick. Name a random Devil from the mid-2000s. I'll go with Sergei Brylin.
Dude, I was literally like out of my mouth with Sergei Brylin. I'll go Jay Pandolfo.
Oh, that's a tough one to hear.
Travis Zajac.
Danius Zubris.
Oh, we got Danius Zubris from the front.
That's a good one. I like that one. Wes's is from like the mid-2000s, but we'll give it to him.
Let me have the one that's going to bring the most pain. Jeff Friesen.
Okay, well,
I didn't want to say.
Yeah, nobody wants to say that. Wow, we're trying to leave these guys with good vibes, good energy. That's just unfortunate, Marshy. Fellas, get home safe. Appreciate you jumping on, and we'll do this again next time, maybe in the P words. The P word, maybe?
Round
you already
one,
said one.
game 3, where the vibes are free at the GCP. See you
There
all
they are.
Let's go.
Keep doing your thing, boys.
Brody.
We love you guys. Thanks for having
Go,
us
Sens,
on.
go.
All right, there they go. Go Sens, go. Absolute beauties there. We got a lot. We got John Madden, Jason Arnott in the comments in the chat. Chat's buzzing right now. So funny. The chat doubled once the Montreal-Colorado game ended. Avalanche win that game in a shootout. So Montreal gets 1 pesky point. So too do the New York Islanders. We'll save the entire standings look at for Monday's Locked On Senators, where we will be joined by the now all-time goal leader for the Belleville Senators. Our good friend Angus Crookshank will be on the show. On the other side, our Sen Central standouts from a 3-2 win over the New Jersey Devils. This is the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Guys, hockey started early today, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you needed to be energized to watch all the hockey games all the way up to the Sens game, you needed a little boost from 5 Hour Energy. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, and sometimes you need that boost. That's what 5 Hour Energy is for. I've been staying up late watching hockey, watching NCAA basketball, and 5 Hour Energy helps keep me up the next day. With longer days, I get outside for a hike or a run. It's beautiful here in Collingwood, and Tropical Burst is my go-to for a quick boost. Whether I'm at the game or traveling, 5 Hour Energy is easy to grab, small, fits in your pocket, put it in your bag, keep it in the car, and it keeps you feeling refreshed. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, my personal favorite, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack, and it's delivered right to your door. Need one now? Well, grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery store or convenience store. They're everywhere, easy to find. Stock up today and stay energized with 5 Hour Energy.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan. That is Brandon Pillar. Lalime's Martian's with us as well. You can find our Twitter bios in the description below. You can also subscribe to the podcast wherever you get yours. We are currently 12 away from 10,000. So let's get that final push here as the Ottawa Senators push towards playing more games than just the regular season. Tonight, it was a 3-2 win over the New Jersey Devils. Senators get goals on the power play from David Perron. Was the third goal. I'm going to work backwards here. Drake Batherson got his 20th goal of the season that made it 2-0, and Brady Tkachuk's 28th of the year led things off. Another stat note, Dylan Cousins, his 24th assist of the season. He's now got 7 points in 8 games, and the Ottawa Senators are 6-2 in those 8 games. Pilsy, your Sen Central standout presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
Well, we already touched on him a bunch, but I really liked his game, Tim Stützle. I thought he was all around it today. He was using his speed. He was setting up Brady, setting up Fabian Zetterlund, especially early on in the game. He didn't take any crap from guys, especially that play we talked about. There wasn't an Ottawa Senators teammate in sight, so he was on his own, and it felt like the Devils were a pack of hyenas, just like, hey, let's pick on Timmy here, and he let him know, I'm not going to take any of that crap, even if I'm outnumbered here and on my own. And I just thought, every time he was on the ice, I was noticing him doing something. So Tim Stützle is my Sen Central standout.
I love that, Pilsy. I want to just add that his speed is so evident every single shift, and the work ethic, the defensive plays, the little plays that he made, that line tonight, I really thought was excellent. And again, the third period, things were falling apart for the entire team, but they were able to build that lead, and a big part of that was Tim Stützle with Brady Tkachuk and Fabian Zetterlund. Now, Brady missed a few shifts, and Zetterlund was taken off that line for the defensive responsibility. Michael Amadio got a few shifts with that line late in the game. So in the first 2 periods, that line was money, and Tim Stützle was the workhorse in that trio. I'm going to go with mine, Marshy. Is that okay if I hit you with mine here?
No problem, buddy.
It's a name we mentioned briefly, but boys, the Ridley Greig ascension is so evident. Talk about using speed. Ridley Greig has found an extra gear here in the second half of the season. He led all Ottawa Senators in tonight's game with expected goals percentage at 69%. He played the second most minutes of the game behind Claude Giroux, and Claude Giroux finishes second in expected goals percentage at 5-on-5 behind Ridley Greig. And how about the shorthanded opportunities. He almost got a goal for Shane Pinto on that 2-on-1. He's so dangerous at hounding pucks up top. And there's a lot of the PK that we need fixed, the diamond formation, the amount they're giving up down low. But one thing they're doing is pressuring the point a lot better. And Ridley Greig's a huge part of that. So Ridley Greig was held off the score sheet at 5-on-5, did get a secondary assist on the David Perron goal. And I thought Ridley Greig was excellent tonight. He'll be my Send Central standout.
Yeah, you kind of stole mine there, Ross. I was going to go with Ridley Greig for my standout, so I obviously love that pick, and I agree with you. His speed's been such a great factor for us, and his just like everything about his game is sort of maturing around the board. I think his physical play is there. He knows where to be on the ice, and he's just a very solid third-line player, and like there's no reason why he can't eventually get himself up into the top 6 throughout his career. He's just that kind of guy, and he brings that edge as well, so you gotta love Ridley Greig. I love the sound of a nice cracked cold beer, but I also loved Drake Batherson's game tonight. So I'm going to go with him for my standout here. I mean, it wasn't too long ago, probably around 10 games, maybe 8 games ago, we were talking about him and his offensive production not quite being there. Well, lately he has been electric ever since Dylan Cousins has joined the team. So maybe he gets a little bit of an honorable mention on this standout. But yet again, Drake Batherson delivers that 2-0 goal that came right after that first goal and kind of just put a little bit of an Ottawa Senators stamp on this one. I think from that point on, they held control of the game and everything was kind of in their own hands. So I really love that goal from Drake Batherson, his availability there on that great slot pass from Dylan Cousins as well. But just to get a stick down and make that deflection and put that one home was a huge goal for the team. Drake Batherson had a great, 15 minutes, 38 seconds on ice tonight, 4 shots on net, and a hit. So Drake Batherson's my standout.
I love that. And I think we can all do an honorable mention here. 3, 2, 1. Zoob. Ooh, my goodness. This is not a regulation win without Zoob at the end of this game. Let us know your standouts in the comments below on YouTube. Really helps us out. You can also subscribe wherever you get podcasts. As I mentioned, we got a great show coming on Monday with Angus Crookshank. It'll be great to catch up with Crooker after a brief NHL stint, but again, passing Igor Sokolov for the most goals in Belleville Sens franchise history. Sens next game, Tuesday, a revenge game for Dylan Cousins in Buffalo. The father's trip will begin, and it is a critical juncture of the seasons. Not much help on the out-of-town scoreboard tonight. Couple OT losses, but everyone behind them got points when you look at Montreal, New York Rangers, and the Islanders. So it's an important stretch right now, and Ottawa got a critical 2 points tonight. Marshy, any final thoughts on today's show?
Just great to be back in that win column. I'm looking forward to the game against Buffalo, and go Sens go here, boys. This is fun. I'm really glad they weren't capable of turning this into another big losing streak. They ended it at 2. They nipped it in the butt, and now they can get back to their winning ways here.
Yeah, and this was the type of win where, sure, the Devils are down, they got big injuries, but this is a playoff team, and you need to show that when you have an opportunity to get 2 points up against a competitive team in the East, you got to do it, and you got to find a way. On the road, they do it. So I'm proud of the effort the boys had today. It really kind of puts the foul feeling of losing to the Habs and then the Avalanche. I'm not worried about that anymore. That win stops it, like Martian said, and now you go to Buffalo, a bit of a trap game where you got to figure out a way to get that done as well.
Have to, and it better not be a trap game, right? Like, you got 9 of your last 14 games at home, but you have 2 road games coming up. So how are you going to get it together for Buffalo Tuesday and Detroit on Thursday? We'll be with you every step of the way on this journey. We appreciate everybody for making us your first listen each and every day. For Lalime's Martian and Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been the Postcast. Enjoy your victory Sunday. We'll be back Monday with another episode of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.